Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's Jay from Jay's Garage. And today I would like to start a new video. And I would like to tear this engine down. But not only that, I'd like to see if it's any good so we can actually do a quick little build and share some experiences about what we used, how we did it, and kind of go through a step-by-step. And yeah, maybe let me explain that. So one of the things I want to do is, I've done a couple of engines on this channel. That's what actually started. I did a 350 teardown and a build. But I never got to actually show anybody the engine running or driving or, after it was built. And I heard it ran good. I get all that. But really no follow-up. And it was kind of disappointing, really. Then I did the 305. And also, I know where that is. And it's actually going to be coming here this year. But again, really no follow-up, right? And I thought, hey, one day I'm going to do a build on the channel that we can follow up with and maybe utilize. So I was thinking about this, and a friend of mine said, I asked him about this Vortec he's had laying around for 5 years. And he said, yeah, go ahead and take it. So I thought, oh, cool. Now, one of the reasons he said that is you can see from here, it's been hot. And we probably have a cracked head, and that's okay. Generally by that, I would think we probably do. But we'll take it apart and check it out. But the Vortec 350, and this is kind of one of the most overlooked small blocks in my opinion. So most guys go from your general run-of-the-mill 350 right into LSs. But this is a good little package. And there's a person on YouTube that's made a channel of it. And that's Cutter's Performance. And there's a ton of great information there. He does a lot of videos talking to people about this and showing them what they can do. And there's some dyno videos in there. And I think he's done really good. And it's just something that the average person can do and get back to one of those low build or low budget 350 builds. It doesn't have to be high budget. Now, an LS, yeah, if you leave the fuel injection, get a fuel injection tank like in my S10, you can do it pretty cheap. Go buy the engine, stuff a computer in it, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. There's a lot of compromises there and, gauges, stuff like that. I don't know. It's up to you. Everybody has a solution. Everybody has a fix. But my blue S10, which is on the channel and you can see on there, I don't want it to be an LS, I don't think. I kind of like it as a small block Chevy, and when this opportunity came up to grab this engine, I thought, I'll just do that. But I thought it'd be kind of something fun to do, like I say, a low budget build and follow along. So before we got started tearing the engine down, I can give you a couple of ideas, what I have here, and then we can see if we can make it work out. So if we come over to the board here, and we look at this, there's the S10 350 right there. And it's just a standard 350, 2-bolt, has a MP 345 Speed Pro piston. It's 45 thou down the hole. It's flat top, not a dish. But being that far down the hole in an open chamber head, it is 8.3 to 1-ish. Even though they sell that piston as a 10 to 1 piston, it is not. It's balanced, has rod bolt, has a windage tray. None of that really matters. Basic 882 heads with some Z28 valve springs, Speed Pro. A Performer, a Quadrajet, and Extreme Energy Comp 262 hydraulic. Just a standard hydraulic, flat tappet. Now, looks like a good package. I see that as a 330 horse package all day long. But to me, it's about a 280, 285-ish. The cam's too big for the compression. The heads aren't good enough for the cam, basically. It's just mundane. But it's what anybody would build. I mean, it's a simple build, right? Go to the builder, get a flat top motor, throw a set of basic heads on it, go pick yourself out a comp cam, put a Performer on it. Everybody did it. Pretty basic stuff. But honestly, that was a tow engine when I built it, and it had a small Speed Pro cam in it. And that was all it was ever going to be. And hence the compression. Okay? But if you look at a Vortec 350 as a starting point, whether it's a 2 or 4 bolt, I could care less. It has a dish piston, about 15 thou down the hole. But with a thinner gasket, maybe a slight cut on the heads, we can get up at the 9-to-1 area. And I know they advertise them as 9-to-1, or pardon me, 9.3 or 9.5. But in actuality, I think they're 8.8-ish, 8.7. But whatever. Really splitting hairs there. It has a window tray as well. It's already hydraulic roller ready because it has a hydraulic roller in it. And with the Vortec 350, obviously you have Vortec heads. So that's good. Now, I have a Performer intake here for a Vortec, but I'd rather have a RPM. I don't have a carburetor, and I have a GM ZZ4 camshaft. So that's all we're going to start out with. So, will it make 330? I don't know. Should be close. Okay, we'll get tearing this down. I'm glad the heater came on behind us just to make it a little more awkward. So let's get these warm mount bolts out. These are not factory, I don't think. Huh. Yeah, maybe they are. If you're ever trying to space an engine when you're doing a build, so it's just the 3 bolts. Hold that on. And then a little spacer. And this goes on to the end over to the transmission, I believe. Don't remember. We'll take out the dipstick bolt here. Should be a 7/16 or 3/8. 3/8. And then we can take out this spark plug wire holder as well. So we'll take everything off on one side and we'll keep going. This is 3/8. Okay. Just a little 3/8. Pull this out. Okay. Next, let's pop the valve covers off. See if these are 062s or 906s. Same 3/8. Oh. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's make a mess there. Kind of dirty inside. Not great, won't lie to you. Everything looks nothing looks terribly wrong here. We'll remove the upper intake. There we go. Easy peasy. Let's take these rocker arms off. We'll use a 5/8 for that. These don't need to be in order, so you don't have to worry about what order they're in. Okay. It takes the front accessories off now, so let's get the front accessories off. Generally, a 9/16 is going to do most of it, I'm guessing. So let's find out where some of this is. So with the fan, here's the problem with this, is somebody tried to take the pulley off. Trying to get the fan off, so we'll have to deal with that, but we'll just take the water pump off, just for curiosity, if you wanted to know. .062. So these are the L62s. It's pretty grungy in there. Doesn't look great. Let's keep going. So let's get that off. I think we'll start with the alternator bracket here. There's a bolt in there. There's a stud here. Okay, and we have some at the bottom. We have one right down at the bottom down here. So we have this one in here we got to deal with. So let's pop this idler off. Get that out of the way so we get the water pump off. So a lot of this stuff we won't be reusing, so it's not a big deal to me. There we go. So let's get the alternator bracket off now. So that was the stud one, so we take this nut out. So we have those out. So we're on this stud here. I don't think we can get it off with the fan. There we go. All right. I just want to get this water pump off now. Like I say, we're not going to make the fan a priority. I think everybody knows how to do this. Just get a fan tool, hold it with the nuts that are missing, and turn it off there. But we're not going to do that today. Instead, we're going to do it the hard way, or the easy way. We're just going to get rid of this completely. So, if we can get in there, and we'll get that bolt off. Okay, I grabbed just a light. So we got the top bolt out there. Focus, focus, there we go. We're just on the bottom one. Okay, these are the two hardest, I'm guessing. Let's do the air side now. Let's do the bottom one first. Don't worry, she's not going to fall. We got the old hose there to save us, so let's cut that off. Again, we're not using most of the stuff on this engine. We just want the long block. So this isn't really about saving it and putting it back in the original vehicle. But even if it was, with the amount of heat this thing's probably seen, this hose it's not very good. So let's get this out of the way. All right. Started the water pump bolts, or if anybody really wants a Vortec fan, that'll be the end of that. So let's go to the air side and tear off the AC bracket. 1, 2, 3, 4 for sure. Let's just take those out right now. So remember, we have power steering here. And the AC is here. So, because this wasn't a complete engine, we tore it apart like this as well. Let's get a little bit better. If you run into that with extensions, just try and get rid of them. Get another stud on this side. Oh, there we go. All right, so again, I'd save these bolts no matter what. Stuff like this is hard to find later on. If you want, and we can just slip that off. All right, let's get this out of the way. So now we're kind of coming down to getting down to the long block thing. So let's get some of these parts out of the way. We'll pull off the air valve cover and the intake manifold. But first, let's pop the front pulley off. I see it's missing a bolt already, right here. Not sure what that's about. So let's get that off. Let's just pop these studs out real quick. Just a little Torx where these are, I don't know what they are. Oh, this one's stripped. That's awesome. Okay. They're usually not too tight. Usually. This one's a little snug. Right to the end. Can we do anything with this? There we go. Just work with these a little bit. Sometimes they've got some stuff right at the end, or they seem to deteriorate a little bit. All right. Okay. Velvet cover. Again, 3/8. Okay. There we go. Bit of a mess. Okay, let's get these rocker arms off. Ah, there we go. Okay, what do we got there? Okay. Probably not in the greatest shape, I'm guessing. Not that it's a big deal. We already know it had cooling issues, but just something to be aware of. We'll leave that in there. We'll take the intake off. Some of the intake bolts are missing already. I'm not really sure why. So these aren't torqued up very hard either. So if you're ever taking these apart, make sure you do torque specs and watch it when you put these intake gaskets on for servicing. I just did one here. It's a bit of a job. It's not hard. It's just a little time consuming, but not too bad. There's only 8 bolts, so not too hard. Oops. All right. Let's get that off there. Actually, before we pull it off, just so you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Same on this side. I think this is a slot. Yeah. All right. And that would be that. Take this out real quick. When we took the distributor bolt out. Most of these distributors are damaged already. Look at that gear. That doesn't look very good. Yikes. This probably wasn't a fantastic runner. All right. Just pop that out real quick. All right, let's pull the intake. I just poked a hole through the silicone or the sealant there, just to pop this one off. Yeah. I should have done both sides, I guess. Pop that off. All right. What do we have here? So far, we don't have any evidence of a crack in the lifter valley, but we have a lot of goo in there. Back down. So I can close the drawer. No. I guess I could have vacuumed the engine off a little bit, but really, what did it matter? Deck's cooled, it's finest. Alright. Let's get these heads off. Okay, so it's the usual 17 head bolts. These are 1/2 inch headed. These ones, so small. Wow. Alright, power tools really make this a lot easier than it was back in the day. I used to do this with speed wrench all the time. Yeah, this thing's bad. I wouldn't reuse that. We weren't going to reuse them anyway. We're going to put new head bolts in it, but like I say, it's always good to look around and see what you're seeing. What could be a problem. These look and smell like factory ones, so they probably are. Right. Should be good. There we go. Uh-oh. So still a factory bore. Super clean, right? You know we have antifreeze in here, so we'll want to check the block really close, but likely a cylinder head issue. Ew. So, yeah, this thing has seen some heat. Okay, apologize. I abandoned you guys to take a quick look here. So, this head is scrap. So we can see right here. That's the crack in that cylinder. Okay. What else do we have going on? We'll probably look at this a little more later. But yeah, the head is definitely bad. That's a good crack there. Huh. We have another set of heads right here, luckily. So it's not the end of the world. See what the rest of this engine's about. Let's get rid of the spider and pull these lifters up. And, you know, I never really thought about it. I'm probably going to have to reuse these, so. Probably, I should have done this a little cleaner, but I'll probably just knock them apart real quick and take a look at them. Find a box. Again, we don't have to keep them in order. We just need to make sure they're good. So, I think everybody knows how these work, right? It's held in with these little dog bones. And, yeah. We'll just check each one as we pull it out. Make sure there's no real issues, other than the moisture. And then we'll have to clean these up if we reuse them. If we do. Look good. Okay, so we'll inspect these lifters after. But all the rollers look really good. There's really, they feel good. And there's a snap clip in here. And we can actually pop it apart and clean them if we want. But we'll see how far we go with this engine. Let's get this out here. Why is that so tight? Who knows? So one of the differences, a lot of people talk to me about the TBI engine video we did and the Vortec stuff. Most of the TBI stuff I've ever seen was not hydraulic roller compatible. They'd have the stands, but they weren't threaded, okay? I don't know. Every TBI I've ever seen, other than the GM replacement engines, were not hydraulic roller compatible. But unless they had a 638 or an 880 block, I don't think they were. But if you've seen something different, you know, feel free to chime in. But yeah, I still answer questions about that all the time. Let's take the cylinder head off. Okay, for conversation's sake, I always leave a bolt in the center, right? And I just do this. There we go. And that's it. I don't really get into tugging into the intake ports and stuff, but whatever works for you is the best way to do it. All right. Okay, so if we look at this side, it'll probably look fine. Nothing really out of the ordinary here. Let's grab a light. This light's dying. Actually, this side of the engine looks relatively okay. Lots of crosshatch. There's rust in this cylinder though. Okay, we'll look at that. Let's take a look at that cylinder head. Alright, so here we are again. And we have a wet cylinder. We probably have another bad cylinder head, I'm guessing. This head gasket looks suspect at best. I can see moisture coming out from the fire rain up here. Plus it's hanging way into the chamber, so that's never a good sign. Alright. We have some rust here. I'm sure if we scrape away a little bit, we're going to see another problem. It's very rusty. And you can see the crack. So, not even one good cylinder head off this score. Bummer. Alright, well, that's it for the cylinder heads. Let's take a look behind the gasket, I guess. Just for the hell of it. We're here now. I didn't want to bend it there. Yeah, that gasket was done anyway. So, yeah, this truck had multiple issues. Can you guys see that crack there? Oh, sorry. All right, so we'll throw both the cylinder heads away and keep going on the rest of the engine here. Get rid of those lines, 1/2 inch. Maybe not. Okay. All right, let's try that again. Another nice thing about the Vortecs are, I like the pan rail. I like the one piece rear seal. That's kind of handy. Sorry about that. I had somebody come to the door there. All right. Get these rails off. Throw them in the to be cleaned pile. 2 bolts or 4 bolts? I'm gonna say 2. Oh, God. Dirt everywhere. 2. So there we have it. That's what it is. Just you run the mill, 5/7 Vortec, 2 bolt. Window tray. All right, contact, cleaning pile. You know, for as bad as the engine looked up top, it doesn't look too bad down low. It's a lot cleaner than I thought it would be, actually. Well, let's take a couple of these off. My nifty Princess Auto $15 wrench set. See what these bearings look like? We should number these, but I doubt they're going back in, but I'll number them when they come out. All right. No bearing. Typical. Uh-oh. That's not good. Oh. Splendid. Does it fit in the cap even? No. That's brutal. Just a wore out old engine. What I'll probably do is just knock the rest of these out off camera. I don't think anybody needs to see these come out. Or maybe they want to. I don't know. There we go. It's not really the way to do it, but yeah, it's strangely clean in here. Yeah, this seems to have a tough life. Okay, so I found some of my stamps. Unfortunately, they're the big stamps I have. Kind of look silly. Can't find my small ones, but I just stamped these anyway, just for something to do. I'm going to knock these piston and rod assemblies out simply because I just want the crankshaft out of this engine. One of the things here is, I know the engine's been really hot, but it actually looks pretty good down here for the most part. Except for a couple of the mains, they look a little dark. But there's probably not too much to worry about here, but I want to keep the crankshaft around of its standard. So I'm going to pull it out right now, and then we're going to do a quick summary about what we found with this engine. Maybe first we can pull the balancer and the cover off here. All right, let's pop this balancer off here real quick, and just place it, guys, so it's easy for both of us. So, yeah, get that back out of there. Find some bolts to work. Okay, let's get this, rest this engine apart here real quick. We have another one to tear down here right away as well, and I'll probably throw that on the channel. It's a Mopar. Not a lot of love for the Mopar videos, which is odd. Thought there'd be a little more, but then we'll be back into some Chevy stuff again, and yeah, keep moving around. All right. Get this a little tighten up. Drop that in the floor. So once I do that, I just do this the easy way. Just want to make sure everything lines up evenly. These two are even. Actually, all three of them look good. Good enough. So let's buzz that off. Don't have to overcomplicate it. It's not hard. I think we've done this a few times on the channel now. Tighten it in. No. Let's get the right socket on there. Try that again. Remember, I'm using a 3/8 stubby here with a battery that's half dead. You can probably see it on the camera moving. Just watch this area. That is it. That's what we use at the end to fit inside of there. This is the tool we just used to pull the vibration dampener off with. Just a basic gear puller set. Pardon me, puller. This one's a Mac. But you can find cheaper ones elsewhere or different alternatives. We can pop this timing cover off now. We're going to need to anyway, so 3/8. There's a lot of like orange brown film here from overheating. We're going to talk about this. We'll have a bit of a summary of this engine when we're done here. That really will sum up some of the questions that people may or may not ask. Remember, if you have a crank sensor issue on your Vortec, even though it's all dirty, this is where it is. We'll get an unapproved pry bar. There we go. On the pile. Here's the sensor we need to talk about. We'll talk about this in a little bit and why it's important. If we never get it off. There we go. We'll have to talk about the thickness of this and why. So let's just set that aside. Timing chain. I don't think we expected any different. Oh, sorry, it's blocking everyone there. Lots of movement in the camshaft. Okay. Let me find some bolts and we'll get that off. Or a socket and we'll get that off. Forgot to film the bolts coming off, not a big deal. Let's pull this bracket off real quick. These I think were 6 mil. That's how these come off. So this is what the fastener looks like. Just an end here. They hold the bracket on with that. We did the to be cleaned or discarded pile. All right, let's pull this off. Raise, not a dodge, the bottom gear will not come off. All right, we're not saving that. Then this fastener, I don't remember what it is, but I'm not taking the cam out, so I don't really care. And I'll explain why here in a bit. But we need the crankshaft. So what I'll do is I'll just speed this up so I can pull that out. I want to pull a couple more things off here, and then we'll do a quick summary on this engine. All right, most people that know me know I don't like to be in the video, so I'm not in the video. All right, let's get this apart real quick. And then we'll do speed up. So we all know 9/16. All right. Leave the nuts on a little bit if you want. Sometimes you have to tap them, sometimes you don't. This is a definite don't. Okay. Try and clean these up a bit. I don't see anything on them at all. I even have my glasses on. Just the GM number. GM 45. Oh, there we go. And a part number. But no date. I can remember if these were dated or not. Anyway. It's definitely got some junk through it. It's definitely been hot. It's just worn out. We can think of a lot of reasons why it's like this, but at the end of the day, it's worn out. Let's put that away. If you're going to refresh your engine, or you have something you really care about, don't do what I just did. Like, I didn't hit the rod bolt against the crankshaft here. I'm used to doing this. But if you really care about what you're doing, either use some hose on the end of these, or just get yourself some boots. Lots of different ways you can do it. Some aluminum, whatever. It got warm. The first one's a lot worse. The first one I took out. It's probably the worst one. But let's keep going on this. All right, pistons are knocked out. I already pre-loosened these mains. So let's pop these out. No spun bearing, which is a miracle, honestly, with how these feel. But it will need a crank grind. All right, let's knock those mains off. They're already numbered. I'll show you. So, like I say, I've numbered the pistons and rods. I wasn't going to. But your mains always need to be proper, okay? We have an arrow pointing to the front. We have a number 1. We have a 2. See the arrows to the front. 3, arrow to the front. 4. Number 5 is pretty self-explanatory. You can't really get that one wrong if you tried. But, you know, it should go without saying, right? All right. A little bit of tension there. Tap that off. the bolts aren't stuck in the block when you do that. Everything actually locates pretty good here. Well, from what we can tell. All right. Let's pull those off real quick. Move them aside. I just had to spin the seal retainer. It was caught on the stud. Don't usually do this on the stand like this. All right, we're toward the end of the video here, and you can probably see I lost a little bit of enthusiasm toward the end, and that's because I know that we have a problem here. So let's use this scenario. Say that you wanted to do a Vortec for your S10 or the Camaro or something. You didn't want to do an LS. You go onto Craigslist or Facebook or wherever you look for your stuff, and you buy this engine for $500. The guy says, I have a video of it running. Here it is. It ran pretty good. I got it from a friend who got it from a friend or whatever. I bought it from the wrecker. Who knows? And I saved it for a project I never used. And you're like, yeah, seems okay in the video. Let's take a chance on it. Much like this. So my friend buys this engine. And they told him, all right, it needs intake gaskets. It was leaking water profusely. Or coolant. He knew. And which is fine. He never hid that. I knew about it when he bought it. He drove it on the trailer. They drove it off the trailer. Drove it in the shop. But he had another engine. And instead of screwing around with this one, he had a really good low mileage engine, and he put that in, and he stored this in the shop. So we finally make a deal on the thing. I don't even think it's cracked. I never really gave it a lot of thought, to be honest with you. I figured there was a bad cylinder head or gasket, but I didn't care because I have a set of cores down there, right? I thought, well, I'd like to do a channel. Like, we haven't done a lot on our channel lately, and I'd like to get back to it. I thought a budget 350 build would be a lot of fun, and that was kind of what I was heading for. We brought this engine here, and, well, we kind of went through the process together. One of the things that most people pick up on is probably this right here, except that's not a crack. Okay? That's the corner of a 454 block that was sitting beside this thing when we were trying to drag it out of where it was sitting. And I know it looks like there's water there, but the water was coming from above there too, right? Okay? But I know it's kind of funny, because I thought that too. But I remember dragging it across the 454 cringing. We know we have bad cylinder heads. This one has at least a crack inside the seat. This one's right into the chamber. Or pardon me, the squish area. Like, it's bad, okay? Well, it's in the chamber, I guess. Look at the coolant passages in this thing. But we know the engine got really hot. Now, the argument is the engine ran, and it did. But, one more thing. On top of that, this is not dragging it across the 454. That is legitimately a crack. So, when the dirt fell off there, I realized that. And that was part way in between doing the video and finishing the video. So, that's where my enthusiasm went. On top of that, this engine got real warm. And we saw that with the head gaskets, right? We saw a couple of near-injured head gaskets here. This one here, especially. Wasn't doing too good. It was going to fail right away anyway. You can see the width on that, even compared to these two, right? But anyway, it's not a comparison. I took the crank where there's a pretty heavy groove with the rear seal. I don't even know if I'm going to use it. The pistons, they saw a lot of heat. These things weren't going to use those. Anybody want anything from the pile? Just ask before I throw it out, which will probably not be before this video is released. So that's what you have. That's your running Vortec core. And we'll just accept it and move on. I got the engine for free, so all I have in it is a few hours. But if you go to buy a core engine, my best advice to you, take a borescope, check along these areas here. You can borescope inside the cylinder, see if there's any rust, if the guy will let you. We would have caught this right away, but if you get one with the articulating head, you would have saw the crack without even trying. But those are just some things you can do. And the harmonic balancer thing. These things use a pickup here for the crank sensor. Okay. I imagine that looks like it's about, I don't know, I don't know, I can't even think today, 80, 90 thou, something like that. So if we zero out our calipers here, I'll just do a quick thing here, and we come to the summit balancer, so I'll show you this in a second. This is my summit, because I don't have, so we're 2.318. Then we go to the Vortec balancer. It's quite a distance. 2.222. All right. And what it is that balancer will be a little shorter to make up for this, right? Now, if you try and put that on a V-belt pulley, you probably have to space it out, or you can just try a different balancer. Pardon me, they're vibration diameters. I keep saying things wrong. I use the TBI ones whenever I have a TBI around, and you can do that as well, pardon me. This is what this one was, the one we just tested against, Summit brand. What do they call it? Harmonic dampener. Yeah, there you go. Old one. It's been sitting around here forever. Never used it. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from it, as did I. If you are interested, hang out. We're going to do a really neat video here. This is a teardown and a rebuild on this low mileage 340 Mopar. 1969, 1970, if you're into it. Other than that, if you want to do a 3.6 teardown, let me know. 3.6 GM. Thanks for watching.